to the red corner, Jimmy Sandlin.
Jimmy coming out 3-4 record, weighed in at 177 pounds.
Sandlin started wrestling in the first grade, competed seriously, starting in junior high. Began training MMA at age 21, now 3-2. Partners with Daniel Bays and Rob Walker Jr.
Yeah, you gotta like how the farther along we get in the card, it seems like the more experience the guys get. So it just kind of build and build on the experience, and you can usually tell the difference. You know, a lot of the newer guys are going all out. They're not quite having as much technique, but the farther along you go, the more experience and technique you see.
And his opponent coming out to the B2 Digital blue corner, Damon Bell.
Damon Bell coming out from Griff Submission Academy. His brother Dakota is in his corner, purple belt from Griff Submission Academy, part of Carlson Gracie team.
Last we saw Damon fight, Alex, was in Elizabethtown, and he looked good.
Yeah, it was the best Damon I've ever seen. He was 0-5 to that point, came out and dominated that entire fight. Got his first win. Damon, I believe, is a guy who came out, he started his career 0-2, took several years off and trained, started getting back into fighting, lost a couple more fights, he got his last win. We'll see if he's able to ramp it up and pull off some more wins.
Welcome back to the Sloan Convention Center in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And for the B2 Digital family and friends in attendance, it's time for bout number 4. Introducing first the fighter to my right, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 177 pounds, with an MMA record of 3 wins and 4 losses, representing Vision MMA Dayton, all the way from Dayton, Ohio, Jimmy Sandlin. And his opponent to my left, fighting out of the B2 Digital blue corner, he represents Griffith Submission Academy from Louisville, Kentucky, weighing in at 177 pounds, Damon Bell.
Got some cheers for Damon from all the way in Louisville, Kentucky. Todd Neal making some noise for the ring girl, yeah.
It's good. Good support for the ring girls. You got to like that from Todd Neal.
Yeah. Good 1-2 from Damon.
Damon coming straight at him.
Yeah, that's how Damon won his last fight. He just walked the whole entire way down, 1-2, 1-2. Needs to let go of this neck here.
Absolutely, I don't want to see him get Von Flug. I think we're going to see a contrast in style right here. Looks like Jimmy definitely wants to get the wrestling takedown and try to be on top and grind it out. And he does have that Von Flug choke he's trying to get right now. Okay, he gave it up. But
good. So Jimmy trying to pass in the mount. Made a small mistake. Damon capitalizes and recovers half.
Yep. But you know what? I know it seems like a lot of wrestlers, they don't mind being in half guard. It seems like it's a good position for them to sit up and strike.
If you're training in the gi or something, you're like, yeah, I can do some stuff from half guard.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite translate if you're going against a wrestler.
Absolutely. They put you in the fence and really put you in a bad position.
Yeah, give me top half guard with an underhook all day.
Yeah. I got put there versus Josh Koscheck. It didn't go real well. I ended up with 2 cuts on my head. So.
Was that one of the 2 doctor stoppages?
That was not. It went the distance, but I was probably the most I've ever bled in a fight. The cage was covered with blood. I remember at one point I stood up and I saw all Josh's hair was like pink, and I was like, oh, that's all my blood. That's not good. Good strikes from behind there.
Sandlin connecting.
And Damon just
Damon
rushing
Bell
in.
coming forward despite taking the damage.
A good kick, and Damon followed immediately with a knee to the solar plexus.
Yeah, I don't see Jimmy wanting to create too much space. I think he wants to keep this as close to the cage as possible, close to the ground as possible. A nice knee again there by Damon.
We find ourselves here again in this over-under series. Jimmy going to town on those Kamaru Usman body shots.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I really like what Jimmy's doing here, trying to keep this a fight in the phone booth, trying not have any space right there because he doesn't want space.
No, good on him. He knows the fighter that he is.
Exactly. Wow, he is giving up a little too much space with those knees right there, though.
So, Chris, what should Jimmy do to lessen that space?
Well, if he's in that position, this isn't wrestling. He can't keep his hips back. He's got to put them in closer. It makes it where you can't keep as much pressure right there, but you're not getting kneed at the same time.
Yes, sir.
So he could get his hips in a little bit closer and go with different takedowns, but you can't do just trying to put pressure on like you would in wrestling.
So maybe we might be seeing a young man here who's not very well versed in MMA wrestling.
Well, there is a difference in wrestling and MMA wrestling, a huge difference. And, you know, that progression takes some time, especially if you have someone who's been wrestling for many years. They're going to go back to what they know, and it takes some time before they can get that out. Same thing when you shoot in, you tend to get choked out quite a bit because you use your head too much. Wrestling, you should use your head a lot. In MMA wrestling, you should not use your head very much at all.
Alex, in the last time we saw Bell fight, he was 0-5. He walked into the cage, and we saw definitive progression from him as he beat Jimmy Sandlin. I'm sorry, as he beat Nicholas Henning.
Yep.
What do you think of his progression? What are your thoughts on his performance in the first round?
It looks like Jimmy may be a better fighter than Nicholas Henning. He's doing a good job of mitigating the space, like Mr. Lytle has said, and Jimmy's doing a good job of sticking to his game plan. We really haven't been able to see too much out of Damon other than what we've already known is that he's a tough SOB. I think Damon succeeds in space, his 1-2s, and his Muay Thai clinch.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to do what he can to stay on the outside more, try to create a little bit more space. It's very difficult when you have a good, tough, hard-nosed wrestler like Jimmy Sandlin coming straight in. But that's where angles come into play. And, you know, you don't come straight forward to a wrestler because he's going to close that gap. You got to move a little bit, and you got to try and make him pay every time he tries to close that gap.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if Damon can move around a little bit more instead of coming straight after him because you got one chance, if not, to land that big punch. I'd like to see more uppercuts.
Good body kick. Jimmy
Right
catches it and lives.
But it may be working.
And again there, Jimmy was right inside and tried to pass over. He almost passed himself over in the half.
Yeah, he I don't know if he's going for the mount or if he just likes being in half guard.
Yeah, 2 times in a row now we've seen that exact same progression.
I mean, usually the side mount is a beautiful spot for a wrestler.
Oh, man, let those knees go.
Exactly, those little short punches. Just control the guy and make him wear himself out, especially against a stand-up guy.
Jimmy doing a great job there of pinning Damon's right arm down with his knee.
He just kind of, Damon gets up and he just lets him go.
Yeah, Damon walking right away. See some spinning stuff there from Damon. Looks like Jimmy might be trying to gain some on the feet experience right now.
Yep.
And then he gets in a little bit of danger. He's level change, baby.
Pulled himself up on the fence a little bit. Wow, really tough position to be in right now. Kind of in that quasi-mount position. Really tough to do anything from bottom position when he's mounted and kind of closing your legs up like that.
Yeah, I think that's the first ever back to the cage grapevine I've ever seen. Not looking great. But Damon's creating space. He's moving his hips. He's trying here.
He's trying to bump him up a little bit. Good job.
Yeah, he gave up his back, though. Jimmy's corner calling for hooks, but he's looking for that triangle, that body triangle.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be tough to get. I don't know if his legs are quite long enough.
Yeah. So he lets go. He keeps his position.
I think Jimmy's going to try and stand up, or Damon's going to stand up again. Yep, got away.
Yeah, Jimmy doing a good job of making him eat one on the way out. Jimmy's corner calling for 2 to the body. See if he throws it.
Well, Damon looks a little gassed right now.
Yeah, this might be over.
A couple
soon.
deep breaths right there. Very difficult for him. See, he's eating right hands now that he shouldn't be. He's really trying to load up on those kicks. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Damon Bell does seem to be eating some shots, almost
Absolutely.
to where he doesn't mind it. He's still going to push the pace despite
Absolutely.
eating shots.
So this is almost a staple of Damon Bell's fights, getting his head dribbled back and just coming back and fighting anyways.
Which is admirable.
Yeah, but it's not going to win the fight.
And it's not going to let me for a long career.
No, absolutely not.
Another good takedown by
Yeah.
Jimmy Sandlin.
Jimmy had his back on the cage there, and he just knew that Damon was going to go for the knee. It just timed it right away. Grabbed the first knee and just ran through it. Jimmy's dominating this fight so far. Would you guys agree that Damon needs to finish the fight in the 3rd round if he hopes to win?
I would think so.
I would agree.
And I'm just wondering right now if he's going to have enough energy to do that. I think the wrestling and the takedowns are wearing him out quite a bit.
Yes.
You know, trying to fight off all these submission attempts and just get out of, not really submission attempts, but just the position he's being put in. That's tiring. So when he does finally get up and he's ready to go, he's tired. His arms aren't there. He's getting hit with punches he shouldn't get hit with. What he really needs to do is try to keep that distance and create some space and land some punches. And he can't keep throwing these knees, because every time he throws a knee, he's going to get taken down.
Shout out to the fine folks at livesportscaster.com. We got Greg Bryan, Tim Bryan, and Matt McCarthy providing tonight's card to you, courtesy of livesportscaster.com, at the comfort of your own home, on your couch for $19.99. So a pay-per-view event, thanks to the fine folks over there, Matt McCarthy, Tim Bryan, Greg Bryan. Good work, guys.
Thanks, guys. Always cool to us. All right, so, Chris, if you're in Jimmy's corner, he's dominated the first 2 rounds. He seemingly has Damon on the ropes, ready to topple over at any moment. Are you telling him to go for the finish, or are you telling him to stand up and maybe get some on-the-feet experience?
Like I said, all amateur fights, in my opinion, are about learning. So what I would like for him to do is work on his stand-up a little bit. When he needs to, if he feels in danger at any time, go ahead and get that takedown. But I want him to work on his stand-up a little bit, get used to it. I mean, it's not all about offense. It's about learning how to defend a little bit better as well.
Absolutely.
He's landing the better punches.
Yeah, I personally would like to see Jimmy come with maybe a left hook after that overhand right.
Yeah, see, he's throwing a hard right hand and goes right in for the shot. I'd like to see a 1, 2, 3, feints and shot and comes back with some punches after that.
Yes, sir.
So he is actually throwing some good feints in there a little bit.
Damon almost timed that jumping knee well. So now Damon's biting hard on that jab. If I'm Jimmy, I feint that jab and come over the top.
Absolutely. Like you said, he doesn't want to sit there and take knees, though, at the same time. He wants to get those hips in tight so he can't throw those knees.
Jimmy giving the space there, right on cue.
Well, that's the wrestler in him. He tries to push the guy into the fence, straight wrestling. You can't do that with those knees.
Who other than the great Chris Lytle could you hope to give you advice to? Jimmy's going to go home and watch this tape and get a free seminar.
I was going to say, that's the thing. The only reason I know is I've been hit with enough knees. And I don't want that to happen anymore. How do I stop that? And then I adjust.
Damon Bell probably needs to work on his head movement. Would you say that's his number one?
Well, absolutely. I think he just has this mentality, I'm tougher than you. I can take punches and keep coming at you. That doesn't lead for a long career.
Now, that being said, head movement is not something that comes overnight.
No, it would take something you have to work on. Head movement, angles, how to get out of the way, how to slip just enough, parry punches.
So in this sport, nothing comes overnight. It has to start somewhere.
True.
So if I'm Damon's coaches, I'm telling him, get in the gym and get working on your head movement like last month.
Well, do it, and then it's just something you have to keep doing. You have to consciously think about it, because otherwise you'll do it, and then you won't do it when it just stops. And you have to constantly be reminded, head movement, head movement, head movement.
It's an everyday thing.
Until it just becomes second nature to you.
Jimmy doing a good job of right in here, action right in front of us.
Damon's going to do a good job of standing up. He's done it several times.
Set an elbow to the body, standing. Damon just carrying all of Jimmy's weight right now.
That's very tiring to do.
Jimmy's corner saying, we don't do decisions.
I love it.
Good on him.
Great mentality. Have no coach. Oh, good kick right there.
Good kick. Jimmy acknowledges it.
Yep.
I got a lot of admiration for the corner of Jimmy Sandlin.
Oh, yeah. Very easily just to say you won this fight. Go ahead and coach. They didn't tell me. They said go for the finish.
Good for them.
That was an entertaining fight.
Yes, it was.
If you like action, that was it.
Absolutely.
Like you said, Damon Bell proved a lot of toughness right there. He can take a lot of punches and just keep coming.
Up until the very end of the fight, he was throwing some wild kicks, and he was aggressive.
Mm-hmm. He's the kind of guy you want to have on your card no matter what.
Sure.
He's always going to put on a good fight.
That was not boring.
No, he's not going to put on many boring fights.
My personal thing is, I hate the tough manness. I love that you can, as we've said already, it's so hard to find those guys. We need to put, when we find those guys in this sport, in our state of Kentucky, we need to hold on to them and put technique on them.
Absolutely, because then they have the best of both worlds. I mean, you don't want to use it all the time, but you want to have it there when you need it.
Absolutely.
Too many people who are really great fighters and great, they just don't have that gameness, that tough mentality. They're great when they're winning, but when times go tough, they disappear. You got to have the best of both worlds, and that's a difficult combination to find. And sometimes that's just your mentality. Sometimes you're just like, I want to be the toughest guy.
Right. Hell with the game plan.
27 for the winner, fighting out of the red corner, Jimmy Sandlin.
Have you seen Austin Green walking around?
I was just looking at the card.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, do you know who he is?
Yeah, I saw him. I was talking to him earlier. I said, geez, do you do some security work around here? Are you a bodyguard for the fighters? He's like, I'm fighting. I said, okay.